Hey everybody, welcome back to the Connection Hub. Today I'd like to talk more around grief and more specifically around acute grief, and then how do we stay in the present moment while we are going through grief. So firstly, when you've just experienced a loss or a change, you may be going through acute grief. And while we may want to lean more into the left-hand side of our brain in trying to find the reason, in trying to understand, in trying to find the logic behind it, that may not necessarily be the most appropriate path at this point in time. What we may want to do is go more to the right-hand side of our brain, which talks about our body being grounded, feeling ourselves in this moment, dealing with only what we are capable of in terms of our nervous system. And gradually we will move from this presence in the body into the more left-hand side of logic, understanding, finding meaning eventually. But it's a bit of a dance and we will get there eventually, but it is a process. And so when we're going through those initial stages of grief, we might feel quite overwhelmed, numb, a sense of denial, or we may feel flooded, overly emotional, feeling like we aren't able to cope with life. And so when you hear someone say, you need to be in the present moment because your life is happening here right now, that in itself can be quite an overwhelming thought. And so I've thought about this frequently in terms of what does it mean to be present with your grief, and how do you cope with it when truly sometimes that's the last thing you want to feel. You don't want to feel the sadness, you don't want to feel the overwhelm, you don't want to think about the loss of identity or the changes that you are experiencing. And once again, I'm brought back into this dance to find the balance. And what is this balance that we need to find? We need to find the balance of how am I able to feel my emotions in small doses, to the extent where I'm not overwhelming my nervous system, which can lead into a sense of feeling panic. How do I come back, feel a little bit, that is just enough, realize and maybe say to myself, I can cope with this. And when it starts feeling overwhelming, or after you've set that time limit for that particular moment, you can say, okay, this is enough. I need to ground myself now. I need to feel my body, and perhaps I need to say to myself, I am here now. I am here in this moment, and this moment is very hard, and I can cope with this. And I will return back to this feeling at a later stage, but for now this is all I can handle. And that in itself is a way of processing that emotion. So you can think of it in terms of the ocean and waves. And when those intense feelings come, this is another wave that comes, and you go through the wave and you surf the wave, and then you let go, and you are still part of the ocean and the emotions are still there, but the wave has subsided. And you will find your balance again, and then the next wave will come, and then you jump onto that wave and you feel what you need to feel, and you process that emotion in that way, and so you integrate that into your body. What we don't want is where we feel like an intense wave is coming like a tsunami towards us, and it knocks us completely over and we feel like we're falling apart. That is not healthy. That is flooding, and that is also our body's not able to cope with it. So feeling more doesn't mean you're healing more. It just means you're looking to survive. The other end of the spectrum is where we numb ourselves, where we are completely disconnected, where we repress our emotions and we don't feel it. That is not healing either. That is healing on pause. And once again, at some point in time, something will trigger us. We may have outbursts that we can't explain. We will have to address it and we will have to feel it. So we're trying not to go from the one extreme to the other. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to put a container around this grief. We know it's there, we know we have to process it, and we also know we still have to function in life because there's still other aspects of our life that is continuing, that needs us to be there, okay? And so what we do is we do it bit by bit at a time. We don't get flooded, we don't repress. We look at it a little bit, process that emotion, bring ourselves back into the present moment, and then we let that go. And so we do this little by little, and so we integrate, and so we heal over time. And we finally then start learning how to live with that grief, because it never truly disappears. However, we have not repressed it and saved it for a later date, and we have coped, and we have been able to feel a sense of connection to ourselves because we let that emotion be processed through our bodies, our nervous systems. And yes, it is hard and it is awful at times, and it can feel completely unbearable and like you just want to go into your bedroom and lie under the covers and not come out for days. You just don't have those options. In this moment, all we need is to get to the next moment of feeling it, finding our place, grounding ourselves again, and continuing forth. And this is exactly what I'm having to do in my life, this point in time. And I know that I will be okay. And I know that this moment sucks. But I also know that this is part of my journey. So I'm hoping that if you are dealing with grief, that this message would be helpful to you in some way. And I hope that you'll be able to trust that you can cope with this no matter how hard it is, and that you can get through this. Sending you